Shakur Stevenson, the greatest fighter I've ever seen. Beautiful style,
Yes.
great technique, has the punching power, has the chin.
Breaking news, after Oscar De La Hoya came out rejecting Shakur Stevenson's offer to fight his fighter Floyd Schofield, due to his other fighter, William Zepeda, rejecting the fight or turning down the fight for the 5th time by pulling out, this time due to an injury, last time because his wife was pregnant. Ironically though, William Zepeda ended up fighting Tevin Farmer instead of Shakur on the same day. Nevertheless, Shakur Stevenson have turned his attention to another fighter that has been calling him out heavily, and that's Muratalla. Muratalla forever has been calling out Shakur. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Christmas came early for Muratalla, as Shakur has answered Muratalla's call. Recently, Shakur called out Muratalla to fight next. All of a sudden, Robert Garcia came out turning down the fight for Muratalla. Even though Robert Garcia has been the main one pushing for the fight, all of a sudden, when the fight can happen, that's when Robert no longer wants the fight. As you guys see above, Robert Garcia told Shakur the reason why they no longer want to fight Shakur is because why should they go away from the plan they have ahead of them to fight Shakur? Robert said they in line to fight for the vacant IBF title of Lomachenko, since Lomachenko is supposedly retiring. However, if he's not, then Muratalla doesn't have a plan at all. It remains to be seen if Lomachenko was using the retirement excuse to duck the Gervonta fight. Because if he doesn't retire, then we know what time it is. It's duck, duck, goose time. However, if Lomachenko actually retires, then yeah, Muratalla is going to end up fighting for the vacant IBF title against most likely a nobody. Therefore, when Robert Garcia says, why should we go away from our plan to fight Shakur, the answer is simple. It's because Shakur is a way bigger opportunity, a way bigger legacy day, a way bigger everything. If the roles were reversed, Shakur will do the same thing. He will fight Muratalla in a heartbeat. He wouldn't go fight for the IBF vacant title against a nobody. Why would Muratalla do that? The answer is simple. It could be either Muratalla never really wanted to fight Shakur, it was all a bluff, and Shakur just called his bluff, or Muratalla believes he will lose to Shakur since he could barely beat Tevin Farmer, and a lot of people had Tevin Farmer winning that fight. So he'd rather make history by becoming a vacant champion instead of losing to Shakur or making history for getting beat up by Shakur. Lastly, if Robert Garcia said this would have made a lot of sense. We'd rather win the IBF title than we can unify. However, Robert Garcia didn't say that. So you can go ahead and eliminate that. But as far as Robert telling Shakur, we tried to fight Shakur for his last fight on Top Rank. However, he chose to fight Artem instead. Shakur responded to that by telling Robert, that's not true. He never got an offer to fight Muratalla when he was on Top Rank. Top Rank basically blocked the fight, which if that's true, then Robert can't use that anymore. He can throw that out of the window because the fight is on the table as we speak. However, he just rejected it for even a bigger payday from Turkey this time around. So what's the problem? The problem is Shakur. They don't want no problems with Shakur since he's too much to handle. They cannot solve this problem. You will think Muratalla will want to save the day and save face for his country after William Zepeda made the whole country look bad with his ducking behavior. Shakur even said there's a lot of scary Mexicans out here. He was talking about the likes of Pitbull Cruz, William Zepeda, and now you can add Muratalla to the list. Shakur was comparing the real Mexican warriors back in the day to the new school ducks. That's why he said that. The only real Mexican fighters today are Benavidez. He's really the face of Mexico right now. Benavidez is El Rayo Valenzuela, Figueroa, and Bam Bam Rodriguez if he ends up fighting Roman Gonzalez and the fighters he's supposed to fight. I'm not talking about 5 years from now. I'm talking about now. We're going to find out soon. Nevertheless, Most likely, Shakur is going to end up fighting Floyd Schofield, since Floyd Schofield is forcing Oscar to accept the fight with Shakur Stevenson, the same guy that Oscar said is the greatest of all time in his book, which is the greatest accomplishment, the greatest compliment a fighter can receive. Oscar pretty much told Shakur, don't beat up my fighters, go beat up Bob Arum fighters, go fight Muratalla. Well, Oscar, Muratalla doesn't want to fight Shakur, just like William Zepeda doesn't want to fight Shakur. That being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below. And to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In other news, Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda was all set to happen until William injured his hand while fighting Tevin Farmer last weekend. So you would naturally think Shakur would start targeting, I don't know, a Frank Martin or a Muratalla, some other world champion, right? No. Shakur and Lone Samedi made an offer to my 22-year-old prospect, Kid Austin, who has no world championship experience.
Come on, man.
This is exactly what I mean when I say Eddie doesn't know how to build a career. Look, Bob Arum built Shakur Stevenson to become a world champion. And in his first fight with Matthew, you actually want to put him in with a prospect, Eddie?
Come on now, dog.
I didn't think it could get any lower for you, but it does. Boxing has been in hibernation. It's like a sleeping bear. Boxing has been the most popular sport since the beginning of time. Lately, it's been Mayweather versus McGregor, who fought in the ring, not the octagon, because boxing is king. But we have to get our shit together. Fighters are not daring to be great, and we are stuck accepting mediocre fights.
Come on, man.
Look, being a fighter and now a promoter, knowing the ins and outs because I'm in it, I have to say it's the fighters who are killing the sport. People try to blame the promoters or the managers, the trainers. No, it's the fighters. I was one, and I can tell you that if my camp urged me to fight someone and I wanted to fight somebody else, we were going to fight who I wanted to fight. The fighters today don't think they're getting paid enough or they're scared of taking an L. For example, look, back in the day, Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward weren't the most popular fighters and weren't getting paid the most during their time, but we respect them today because they fought their hearts out and came back for another day. The UFC fighters, they get paid peanuts and they go out on their shields. They fight like mother. But in boxing, we know the outcome of the big fights these days before the fight even starts. Look at the Canelo fight. Edgar Berlanga went on a month-long victory celebration because he lasted 12 rounds. He fucking lost and acted like it was a good thing.
Get some help.
This is where we're at because it comes from the top. Look at the 90s. You had Brian Tyson, Chavez, myself, Trinidad. We were warriors. We fought everyone. We created sexy mega fights that everyone looked forward to watching. We were like the 90s supermodel with the beautiful legs and tight athletic bodies. We were like Kate Moss. In the 2000s, boxing had Mayweather and it became boring and defensive for a decade, just like Paris Hilton in the early 2000s. And most recently, we have Canelo, who is the most boring but most popular boxer today. Just like Kim Kardashian, who everyone wants to be like. She has no personality, yet makes tons of money. So essentially, Canelo is the king of the fattest, sloppiest, nastiest BBL era. Everything is cyclical in life and fashion. So here's to hoping we go back to the warriors of the 90s, those tight aerobic booties. And Canelo, fuck you. Remember, kids, you're never a hater when you only speak the facts.